Previously on F1.
The season is underway. Vettel leads the World Championship. Brilliant performance from way damage.
Whoa!
Sebastian Vettel wins again.
Terrible mistake there.
Lewis Hamilton wins brilliantly. Vettel takes the victory.
Round 6, Monaco.
That has got to be one of the best views of any Grand Prix track.
Well, there's nothing like it.
Amazing.
I came first here mid-70s. It hasn't lost any of the charisma or the attraction.
This is one of those must-do before you die things, isn't it?
Sir Jordan, allow me to help you from the back of the car.
Oh, Eddie, this is good. This is very good.
Boys, where did it all go wrong?
The nightlife, Monaco is something really special, almost as special as the race.
The atmosphere, just feel that it's alive right now, isn't it? There's electricity in the air. I love this. I mean, if you're a Grand Prix fan, you can come and you can park your car at the swimming pool chicane. You can have a beer at Rascasse. You can have dinner at Tabac. I mean, look at this. These guys are standing on a Grand Prix circuit hours before Formula One cars are flying around here. It's amazing. Welcome to the best hotel in the world, 2011.
Yeah, that must be some feat.
Yeah, it's also quite expensive, so the drinks are on you. Is that okay?
Why do we have to stand so close?
I quite like it. I think this place retains its connection to motorsport because so many drivers live here.
That's a good point. There have been many of the drivers living here over the years. Michael Schumacher lived here at the beginning of his career. You have Robert Kubica lives here, Nico Rosberg, Felipe Massa. Of all the Grand Prix, this is the one the drivers would love to have in their CV because of the history of this place, because there's something special about a street track.
We've sampled what's known as the best hotel in the world. How about we go to one of the most famous next?
Gentlemen, this is where I wanted to bring you to. Hotel de Paris. Is there any finer view in motor racing?
Do you know what? I really don't think there is.
If you didn't have Monaco on the calendar, I think motor racing would be a sorrier place. There's absolutely for sure.
The Monaco Grand Prix will be here long after we've gone.
There is nothing else like it. It was just another quiet night out, really. And after another evening of excess in the Principality, I just hope that nobody's expecting a long, late lie-in today, because when you hear an entire grid full of Formula One engines revving up to 18,000 revs, reverberating off the buildings and the mountains, trust me, it's a noise like no other. Very little can compete with that. It's an alarm call that signifies the start of a race, but not just any old race. The start of the Monaco Grand Prix, and it's a Grand Prix that these boys know all about, David Coulthard and Eddie Jordan. It's hard to get around here, it's hard to work here, it's hard to overtake here, but we just forgive this place because of what it gives us, David.
Yeah, the history of this Grand Prix is fantastic. As you said, it's the 69th running of this Grand Prix. this is the ultimate challenge for the drivers. It's also a big challenge for the spectators and the teams, because usually moving around here, and for those sitting out in the yachts, they've got to make sure they've got plenty of sun cream on. You get a serious sunburn.
Listen, that's the only thing the people on the yachts have got to worry about is the sunburn today. They're having a lovely time out there, not like Eddie Jordan working hard for the BBC as ever. What do the teams make of this? Because there is an electric atmosphere, you can feel it in the air, but these guys are just working as usual, aren't they?
Well, you know, I think we should actually have a peep in the garage at some stage, and if you want to do that, do you want to come with me, Jake?
Well, OK, yeah. I mean, David's seen these all before, I guess, hasn't he?
DC, can you excuse us?
He wasn't inviting me, so I'll just stay put.
Well, no, you've been in here so often. Well, look, what I'm going to do, this is Force India's garage. 47 guys in effectively a space that was historically like a Formula 3 team in the past.
Yeah.
The great result for these guys here, Jake, is that they no longer have to go to what was the harbour wall. We used to have to bring the cars from here over to there, and access was absolutely a nightmare.
So you were pushing the cars through the town in your day?
And not alone that, but every spectator in the world who wanted to get close to the cars, that's where they actually got it. And here we're going backstage. We got the helmets for the safety on the pit stop.
It's so tight.
And we got
here,
Adrian Sutchell's dad, who's obviously
Nice to
busy
see
at
you.
stage watching and having a look. And then, of course, as we come back, these are the radios. We talked about the communication is so vital when the pit stops, because they never actually know, and they all have to be absolutely in touch. Now, squeezed in here at the back are all the tyres. We've got the soft tyres, we've got the super softs, we've even got the wets. And the reason why we've got that is because weather, everything. Anyway, teams like this are so hugely prepared. What is interesting, and I don't know if we can get this here, Jake, we've got toughened glass. This is a security wall here. 1 foot away, we are absolutely live on the track, where the Grand Prix cars will be charging like crazy up and down here. And it's just quite amazing, the access that there is here.
It's quite nice. Ian, if you just look out of the window there, you can see actually it's the little grid board for Jaime Alguersuari. That's how close the cars are going to be starting today, and that's why he'll be starting on the grid. It's fascinating to see this, because this is a part of the Monaco Grand Prix that we never get to see. It's so tight in here.
You have to be pretty special to get in here. I don't know what he's doing in here, but anyway, that's my friend Limo there. This is quite amazing, and you know, when people realise that, yes, it is a small principality, but they embrace the whole of Formula 1 racing, and they've made it so much special for us, even to give us access in this very difficult time, just before the start of the race. Adrian Sutchell's car here, Paul di Resta's car there. It'll be a hive of activity in a couple of minutes, Jake.
Indeed. It's a great example, David, of just how this race is like nothing else, not just for the teams, but also for the drivers as well. How do you guys sort of keep your head when all about you people are losing theirs?
Well, you're just so focused on the job in hand. The office for the driver is obviously in the cockpit. Everything else is, you just learn to zone it into the background. We'll just welcome Eddie back here into the middle.
Put Eddie back
invite you into
place.
my shots.
Very, very small here. Small out the back, small in the garages, small in the pit lane. We've seen a lot of accidents and incidents in the pit lane so far this year, some very close calls as well, but we're not expecting it to be too busy down here, are we, this week?
Well, they also make it a slower pit lane speed limit. You can see there that was McLaren holding the car there to allow the Ferrari to come in, and that's part of the rules and regulations. You cannot do an unsafe release. In the case of these, this was Lewis and Massa run down in Istanbul. You can see, that pit lane is an active part of the racetrack, but they've actually improved this a lot since we first came here. There used to literally only be space for, if you're working on a car, then you were going by the ankles of mechanics. So this is like heaven in comparison to how it used to be. But nonetheless, the pit limit's at 60.
Sure, well, it's heaven for the fans as well. I'll be back in just a couple of moments, because it really is a bit difficult to climb over here, so I won't take the boys with me as well. But this is how small the pit lane is. You can see it's just a few feet, and suddenly I'm on the other side of the pit lane, over the safety barrier, and then this is where the action happens. And it's very rare to be able to stand up high in a pit lane and see the track down beneath us. And you can see all the markings on the track down there. The situation is that we're going to find out today how the Pirelli tyres work with champagne, because last night on the track, this is just a hive of activity. It's a party down there. There were people just drinking, messing around, and if I was a Formula 1 driver, I'd be saying to them, please, whatever you do, don't do anything on the apex of a corner, because I wouldn't like that. And that's just a little look at the exit of the swimming pool chicane just there. And we have to mind ourselves, because it is so busy down here in this pit lane. David, you've had some great moments here. What's it like coming back here and not driving?
Well, I live here during the year, so I get the buzz of Monaco all season long. I actually would never be too concerned about champagne in the track because alcohol tends to be quite sticky. I would be more concerned about if someone was dropping oil out of there on the circuit. But you know, I love the atmosphere. I don't mind the fact that I'm no longer racing the cars because it's a real privilege to watch the current crop of drivers and these amazing cars. The speed they're able to pull through the low speed corners now is the most impressive thing in comparison to when I was racing. So when we went out on track on Thursday to watch the cars through free practice, just remarkable. You know, they seemingly brake on top of the corner, especially into the chicane.
It's mad, and you'll see just what happened in qualifying in a few moments when we show you the highlights of that. And of course the drivers will be making their way into the pit lane very shortly for just about the only race with the most glamorous sport in the world that's kind of overshadowed by the glamour all around it. And of course, this is how the calendar's looking at the moment. You can see that we're racing here in Monaco, then we're off to Canada, then Europe. So 3 very different races and 3 opportunities for the rest of the teams to catch Red Bull. And in some ways here, the racing kind of gets in the way of the fun.
So come closer to me, 'cause I wanna feel the heat. It's just a fling, baby, nothing more than a fling, baby. Just a bit of ding-a-ling, baby, bling, baby. Don't want relationships, so swing, baby. It's just like...
And there are perks for the drivers as well. Last year, Jenson Button, he didn't get very far, only onto the 3rd lap, so he watched the rest of the race from his yacht. Kimi Räikkönen did exactly the same thing a few years before, but one man, Sergio Perez, won't be involved at all in this race after an incident yesterday in the final part of qualifying. David, a nasty accident for a young man in his first year in Formula One.
Well, it was indeed. He got very wide on the exit of the tunnel. You could see the car rotated as he went across the rise, which is there on the track. We saw Nico Rosberg have a similar accident. Like just as he gets unloaded on the rear axle, it starts to rotate. It's like someone's pulled the handbrake on and he can't release it. And then at this point, he's just a passenger. And, you know, the car's basically taking its momentum, turning around. He'll have lost the brakes at this point, of course, because you've... you know, you're sliding on the base of the plank, and you just see him pop his hands up to either side of his helmet, and then he goes into that Tech Pro barrier. It did exactly what it was supposed to do and deformed, absorbed the energy, and the good news is, he, although he won't be able to take part in this race, he's got a mild concussion and some bruising to his leg, so nothing long-term.
Testament to the safety of the cars and the safety of the sport at the moment. Let's just hear the very latest now from the Sauber team. Lee.
Well, Manisha, we had a scary moment yesterday with Sergio Perez. I know you've been to see him in hospital. How is he?
He's doing very well, actually. He had a good night stay at the hospital and he was checked this morning again. We know that he has a concussion and that he has a bruised thigh. He'll be kept for at least another day in hospital for further observation, so that's fairly normal. But he's in good spirits and that's what's important.
Is he in any danger of not being able to race in Canada, which is in a couple of weeks' time?
It's too early to say that. We are confident, but of course all depends on the FIA doctor's decision.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So another night in hospital for Sergio Perez, but the team are thinking of him. If you take a look on the top of the car there, you can see a Mexican hat with Speedy Gonzalez on the top, and before long, Speedy Gonzalez will be back in this car, hopefully, at the next race in Canada. But it was testament, Eddie, to the safety of Formula One as it is at the moment, although there are still questions about whether that's an area of this track that needs to be looked at.
Well, the area of the track I have a concern about, that there is a bump. It's been there for a very long time, David's era, long before that. They have resurfaced it, but it's still not right. That car was on the crown of the road, and as a result, the plank was steering the car. So he was, David's right, he was a passenger. The only redeeming factor was he hit this side on. If that was head first, I don't think we'd be saying just the nice things, and the recovery, it might have been much more severe.
David, you've had a very, very similar accident in the same place, and you couldn't for a long time really work out what caused it, could you?
Well, I had in the back of my mind that there must have been something went wrong with the rear of the car, but when I've seen the incidents that happened with Nico Rosberg in free practice and we've seen with Sergio yesterday in qualifying, I think I just have to accept that, you know, I was a victim of the same thing. You know, you're on hard on the brakes as you come over the crest, and it's just enough to rotate the car. It's a peculiarity of this track. And talking with one of the aerodynamicists this morning, he's saying there could be an aero effect of the way the car is rising and then sort of reattaching the downforce, and just gives you a lot of forward balance. But there's no question that as we see Nico's incident, look, each of these incidents, he just manages to go to the left of that barrier where Sergio actually impacted. So, and again, here we go. He's much tighter than Sergio, but the same result. It just looks like the handbrakes come on and the car rotates. So I think that this can be solved by just resurfacing that area. Basically, it's the harbour wall that's below that area of the track, so they can change that for next year.
I mean, that gives me the shivers that Rosberg won, because a fraction and he was in real trouble. A head-on accident there wouldn't have been nice.
And they actually removed the sleeping policeman after that accident earlier on, and that could have made things very different for Sergio Perez as well. However, all these accidents aren't enough to put the man who rules around here, Prince Albert, off driving around the track. You can see him here making his way around, waving at the fans. These are live shots from the track. He's with his new fiancée, Charlene Whitstock. So congratulations to them, and their wedding will be taking place in about a month right here. So we've already seen just how much you can be punished if you make the smallest of mistakes around here. Something else that punishes you in Monaco is not having a good qualifying session, because overtaking is so difficult, and it was a frustrating day yesterday for one man in particular. Here's what happened with Ted Kravitz.
Qualifying started with a race against time for the Mercedes team after Nico Rosberg's crash in practice. Unlike Sergio Perez, Rosberg missed the worst of the barrier but still made a mess of his Mercedes. Not only did the mechanics complete the repairs in time, but Nico then went on to qualify 7th, with teammate Michael Schumacher 5th.
They managed to turn the car around, and because there wasn't many corners left on the car, and they put it all back together, which was great, and it felt good, the car out there.
All in all, qualifying here had a much higher priority, and we managed to get the best result at the right track and right moment.
Perez's accident happened 3/4 of the way through the final part of qualifying, so those who'd already been out and set an early time in the session had the advantage. Fernando Alonso was 4th fastest and has a good chance to do well today.
I think the pit lane will have something to say tomorrow in the race, and we'll see. Maybe there is also different strategies, 1, 2 stops, 3 or whatever.
But for Lewis Hamilton, if it could go wrong, it did. He'd been fastest in qualifying 1 and 2 and believed he could beat the Red Bulls to pole, but we'd never find out. McLaren thought they were being clever by saving their fresh tyres for a last-minute attempt, but Perez's crash caught them out. Hamilton cut the chicane on his final attempt, so that lap time was disallowed. He starts down in 9th.
Yeah, I think we've been driving well all weekend. I think I had the pace to be pole. I'm certain of that, and Jensen did a great job. I think really engineers advised that we should do 1 stop at the end of Q3. I didn't contest it.
The only consolation for McLaren came courtesy of Jenson Button, whose great early laps split the Red Bulls. He's ahead of Mark Webber and alongside the undisputed king of qualifying on the front row, Sebastian Vettel, making it 5 pole positions from 6 attempts so far this season.
No one really would think that they'd only get one run. You never know, that's your only run. Obviously, we all try hard, and in the end, that was it. So I think some drivers definitely could have done better. Some could have done a bit worse out of it. So in the end, I'm pretty happy with 3rd.
I was very happy with the lap, actually. You know, Q2, the lap was okay, but I made a mistake, and I had too much understeer in the car. So Q3, I felt like I did a really good lap. I knew that I'd be doing another run, but I didn't know if I'd actually be able to beat the time.
It's very difficult around here to get everything into 1 lap. It's so easy to do a mistake, and there are a couple of places where, on the one hand, you have to be very careful, but also you have to take the risk if you want to get the lap time or extract the lap time from it.
So Sebastian Vettel on pole for one of the only races he hasn't won. He'll be hunted down by previous Monaco winners Jenson Button, Mark Webber, Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher. Felipe Massa, Nico Rosberg and Pastor Maldonado will all be early targets for Lewis Hamilton. Everyone moves up a place to fill Sergio Perez's 10th place slot. That means Scotland's Paul di Resta is 13th for his first Monaco Grand Prix. A disappointing qualifying for Renault's Nick Heidfeld, just 15th, while both Team Lotus cars are ahead of Jaime Alguersuari's Toro Rosso. The Virgins and the Hispanias are at the back.
Well, it was great on the track for Sebastian Vettel. It was also quite good in the steward's room as well. You can see there Sebastian sitting 1st in the Drivers' Championship, Lewis sitting 2nd, and his nearest rival, Lewis Hamilton, being bumped down after qualifying there by the stewards. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. And as far as the Constructors' Championship is concerned, we've said it before, it's where the money and the kudos is for the teams in Formula One, and it's the one that they want to win. Red Bull are looking very good indeed. Now, let me give you a direct quote here, Eddie. With racing experience, you would assume most people would have that. We didn't have that. That's Lewis Hamilton's quote from yesterday.
That's a tough comment, and he must have had a very strong reason to say such a thing. McLaren have to start thinking about themselves. They've got 2 world champions in this team. If this team is going to win a world title, they need to sort out some of these little errors in the strategy, and they have to make sure their driver understands what's happening.
Yeah, Jenson Button's been critical in the last couple of races. I think what Lewis was saying is around here you never know what's going to happen. Let's go out, put in a banker lap, and if there is an incident such as Sergio Perez's, at least we know we've had a hot lap. They didn't get a chance to do that. But even on the track, Lewis wasn't quite at the races yesterday, was he? We've got a little shot of him here and the reason for his penalty.
Well, we're joining him here just as he comes through the entry of the swimming pool section, and then as he gets on the brakes he locks up and then he runs over the top of the chicane, and that's the reason why his one and only Q3 qualifying time was deleted, and that dropped him from 7th down to 9th. But, you know, it's inevitable that drivers, when they're frustrated, will speak their mind, and it's easy in hindsight to say we should have done the following. I think we should actually applaud McLaren for allowing their drivers to say what they think. You know, we go back a few years ago, maybe the drivers in various teams would have been very much orchestrated the press releases and controlled in what they were saying. So I think it's a sign of the new McLaren that the drivers just wear their hearts on their sleeves. When they win, they obviously give much praise to the team, and when things go badly, they share it with us.
Yeah, well, you saw Lewis Hamilton in the garage there. If anyone can, Lewis can. He's won around here, of course, and he loves driving around the confines of this circuit. Quick mention of Michael Schumacher, best qualifying for 18 months, and he was wearing a heart monitor. His highest heart rate, 142 beats per minute. Not bad, eh, for a man of his age, particularly around this circuit. And another man who in his latter years in Formula One is looking for even more success is Mark Webber. Let's not forget that it was 12 months ago that Mark Webber came here and dominated this Grand Prix.
Mark Webber, you have won the Monaco Grand Prix. Brilliant drive, well done.
Unbelievable, guys. Thanks so much, mate. The car is fantastic.
So a year after one of your greatest ever wins in Formula One, we return to the scene of that win. It's so hard to try and assess your season so far because up until Spain it was your best ever start to a Formula One season. I don't know whether you knew that or not.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
But you're always judged against your teammate, and he's now got 4 wins out of 5 races. How do you assess it?
Well, I think everyone's had a rubbish season compared to Seb, haven't they? So I think Lewis and JB, we've all had rough weekends. But it's not just about Seb. Obviously, got a race as I did with Fernando in Turkey. Lewis pushed Sebastian over the line in the Spanish Grand Prix. So there's some other boys out there too we've got to take care of.
It sounds like you're saying your performances, Fernando's, Jensen's, Lewis's haven't dropped. Sebastian's has just gone to a new level. Do you think that's fair?
He's certainly taken on the new Pirelli tyres pretty seamlessly. That's been the biggest change for all the drivers this year, is certainly the tyres, and that's all part of our skill set we've got to get on top of.
Well, let's just come over here to the Red Bull that you're showing off this weekend in front of your adoring public. Probably worth a wave now, keep them happy.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great to see the support you get. So here they are, the new Pirelli tyres. If you can, just take us inside the cockpit of this car during a Grand Prix, because you're one of the greatest drivers in the world, yet you struggle with a tyre. For people at home, that's a very difficult equation to work out.
When you start playing with the tyres in a Formula One car, that's all the feel and feedback we get. That's absolutely everything. So yes, we can feel the steering, we can feel the G-forces, we can feel the vibrations of the engine, all that sort of stuff, but the tyres are the biggest thing which we need to be on top of.
So you're coming down to a corner, you're sitting in here, you give it a nice hard yank on the steering wheel. What happens inside the cockpit? What's the feel that you're getting this year that you weren't getting last year? Why is it not as good, not as responsive?
It's still very, very, very good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously the car is...
It's not a bad car, let's be honest.
It's a beautiful racing car to drive, but we're talking about the finest of margins.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just... The grip is not as high, so the grip is lower this year. We have, particularly over a longer run, obviously we know the grip of the tyres is degrading more than we've had in the past, than ever in any of our Formula One careers. Every single driver knows that obviously this year we have more degradation on the tyre, and actually, you know, people say, well, why don't you just look after them? Well, yes, we know all about throttle control. You don't win around Monaco if you don't know how to modulate the throttle, all that sort of stuff. So it's all understanding how the tyre works and getting more out of it.
Let's talk about why we're here then. Maybe you can tell us the story, what this place represents for you now.
Yeah, well, this is where we came down here and we basically did that.
No! Right, you're coming with me. Serious trouble for that.
I thought I could get him a bit further forward.
You did realise you're only supposed to do that when you win a Grand Prix?
That's why my answers were so rubbish, mate, because I was trying to concentrate to get you close to the water.
And then after that, you came up here, and much to the dislike of your team principal, you went off the edge of the barge and into the water.
Yeah. We're going to go down there.
No, not doing that as well. Was that just an example of you've won the Monaco Grand Prix? You're just getting carried away with the occasion?
I think for the team it was very unique, and it was a nice fitting finish.
It's a magical place. You've won here. How important is that in your armoury this weekend?
Well, it's nice to know that you have done it, and you've experienced that, and you feel what is needed at certain points in the weekend, at crucial points to get the job done. So hope I can do it again, mate, as I start to shiver.
Okay, well listen, thanks for the experience of what it feels like to win the Monaco Grand Prix, but not again.
Cheers, mate.
I'm just glad I wasn't wearing a white T-shirt. And here is Mark in the car, gearing up to start from third place on the grid for this Grand Prix. He was, of course, the pole sitter and the winner here last year. He couldn't really answer the question, though, there, David, could he, about why his teammate can get these tyres working and he can't?
Well, because it's as simple as if he knew the answer, he'd be working on finding a cure. In some cases in Formula One, there's a lot of things that you just can't explain. All these teams will tell you that when they're winning, they know exactly why they're winning. Well, if it was simple as that, when they'd have a dip in form, like we're seeing with Ferrari or McLaren, then they would be able to rectify that immediately. There's a lot of things that only get proved out on the racetrack.
OK, well, as you can see, the engines are roaring up, the cars are making their way to the grid. And if you're wondering where Eddie Jordan has gone, well, all I can say is that he gets very easily distracted here in Monaco. There he is, but we will try and track him down if we can for the rest of our build-up to this Grand Prix. So Mark Webber looking for a second win here. But what about a man who owned this place? 5 wins at Monaco for Graham Hill. It's a true pleasure just to ride on board with him for a lap.
From the start, we rush up towards the Sandevote corner, which is a very vital corner. It's a very fast corner. We drop a gear, go through there at about 90 miles an hour, up the hill, changing into 4th gear, trying to straighten out the hill. It's a bit of a wiggle-woggle. We come to the crest of the hill, we've got to start braking very shortly just before we get there, and then drop a gear into 3rd to go round into the Casino Square. We try and have the curve very, very tightly there. More or less arrive into the square a bit broadside. It's all very spectacular just at that point, and then switch over immediately onto right lock, and the car gets very light as it goes over the hill, down past the tip top to the next right-hander, where I normally keep to the centre of the road. We then chuck it round this right-hander, and a very short, sharp squirt in 2nd gear down to the station hairpin, down into 1st. Sometimes the tyres lock up here under brake in the front. Run round the 1st gear corner, very sharp acceleration there, up into 2nd. 2nd gear around the next right-hander, then another hard squirt of throttle down to the waterfront, drive right out up onto the pavement as close to the wall as we can get, accelerate up from 2nd into 3rd, into 4th, into the tunnel, through the tunnel, very fast corner here, out of the tunnel into a blaze of sunshine, and we're in 4th gear. We reach the highest speed on this particular part of the circuit. Down towards the chicane, a very fast left and right here, along the waterfront towards the tobacconist corner, drop into 3rd gear, braking hard, up the ramp, through tobacconist, right close to the wall, and accelerating way up into 4th gear, along past the back of the pits towards the gasworks hairpin. Drop right from 4th into 1st, took around and accelerate away from up to 2nd, up to 3rd, back towards Sandevote again.
Amazing, hey? Very little to change to actually in all of that time. The only difference, I suppose, now we have a big chicane here, and you can see the grandstand alongside that chicane is getting full. Everybody gearing up for this one. Nice to see you've put Jerry Halliwell down. That's good of you.
Just a normal attraction, Jake. It'll all happen for you, don't worry.
One day, maybe not, though. So Jerry Halliwell's been attracted here. Plenty of other big stars. And Top Gear couldn't really forget about the Monaco Grand Prix either. In fact, they got to do something pretty special this weekend.
F1 cars through here. How do they do that?
Well, this is the most special thing. The most special thing ever.
DRS in here or curves? No, I didn't tick that box. It's probably a good job. You lifted! Well, I didn't lift it! I'm terrified! I don't know what's going to happen! Run into the curb, into the curb. What was that? What was what? I didn't know. I was only doing 80 miles an hour because
was there, but the sensation of speed was just astonishing.
He's right. No, it's left. No, left.
Right. Right, turn right.
Just turn right.
Go, go, go! Well, my grandmother will be proud of me.
Very nice. These cars are just a little bit faster. You can see Lewis Hamilton just flew in, very nearly took DC's left leg off, stopped in his pit box, and he now makes his way out to the grid. Let's just have a quick talk about the start of this race. We heard from Mark Webber a few moments ago. He's qualified in third, and he believes, David, he can take the win here again.
Well, you have to. You can't start a Grand Prix that close to the front and think that it's predetermined that you're not going to be able to. He knows he's got a chance off the start. He knows he's got a chance at the pit stops as well, although, of course, when you're battling your teammate, then your teammate who has qualified higher has the first choice on pit stop, which will usually give you the advantage. But this is a race of attrition as well. 78 racing laps, more gear changes, harder on brakes, and, of course, very hard on the drivers.
It's hard here from second. Since 2007, the man who's second has been taken at the start by the man who starts third. But Jenson Button believes, and his team believe, if he can just stay with the Red Bulls, strategy will win him this race. There's a lot of confident drivers around this weekend, Eddie.
Well, strategy, I just would remind you, the last race we saw from the dirty side of the track, fourth place, Alonso making an amazing start. So I think Jenson has every right to be upbeat about it. I think he makes great starts, and this car is particularly good at starting.
OK, well, we got the chance actually to spend a day with Jenson Button here at this race, because what tends to happen here is it's a public holiday on a Friday, so free practice happens on a Thursday, and then the drivers get a welcome day off. But for a Formula One driver, there's never really a day off.
Monaco, baby, yeah! Here we go, are you ready for one another? Dream Warriors noise is new discovered. Once again with the new blend, so telephone a friend. Yo, Dream Warriors got this new song, it's dope, man!
That's not gonna work.
No, sorry. My definition is this, my definition. My definition is this, my definition.
A nice wink, even after all that work. You used to work your drivers hard, I imagine, Eddie.
Yeah, but that's, they get very good money, but they have to do extraordinary things. They're hugely popular here. The attraction is amazing, and actually I've made it very clear in the past, Jenson Button was a remarkable world champion, and this endorses it even further.
OK, well, he's been a great champion. He's got a great grid slot for today. And another man down on the grid is Martin Brundle. Martin, it's the tightest grid of the season, yet everybody wants to be there. I'm expecting a few broken heels and some oil on some posh dresses down there today.
I know, but first, look at this. How inviting is this? The first corner. This is the pit lane. I just watched the 23 cars on the grid today. Sergio Perez still in hospital, not out of hospital until Monday. Cruising out there, just how tight is the braking point is already just off the start if they were at full speed, and the trees in the boulevard, the fans in the apartments looking over the start line, and here are 1,000 of our new best friends. Somehow they don't seem to make it to Korea and some of these other races where it's all a bit lonely on the grid, but everybody wants to be on this grid. We've got Sebastian Vettel here on pole position. Apparently he's got a queue of TV cameras waiting for him at the moment. Let's see if we can find Jenson Button here, who's in second on the grid, and see if we can attract his attention. JB, you up for a chat? I don't know if we can get through this tense ATA barrier. I don't really, not really fair to ask him to come to me. But what's going? What are you putting on here?
Just a little something to keep me cool.
So what, in the car? You're going to wear that in the car?
No, you're not allowed to. It's just for now, while it's hot out.
Okay, so you just to get some cool. Is it going to be hot then this afternoon? You think? I mean, it's a long old race, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, as you can probably see, this grid is pretty hectic and hot here. It's a very busy grid, so we're going to get off here as soon as possible so we can go and relax for a couple of minutes.
Now, that side of the grid is supposed to be a lot more grippy. I mean, the World Series Moreno race, they got away, they were. Do you think that's a big disadvantage for you?
It has been over the last 6 years, but apart from the last time, Barcelona, our starts have been very good this year. I've started alongside Sebastian once this year, and I got past him at turn 1, so we'll see.
Are you the man to finally stop Vettel from winning races?
I hope so.
Top man. Let's wander through here if we can not tread on the wings. You know, it really scares me one day on these grid walk. We're going to tread on a wing, a car's not going to start a race, and we're going to get fined millions and millions of pounds or something. You couldn't put a value on it, probably. And we've got Mark Webber over here with Kai Abel. I know Mark's up for a chat. I've lost my hearing. I'm going to have to take an earplug out so I can understand what's going on. It's actually quite difficult to see the cars with so many people around. We'll dive down there a little bit as well and see who else we can find. And we'll just home in on the man who's third on the grid. You can see how close he starts to Mark. So, how's the track out there on the formation lap?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's in good shape. Obviously, there's some junior categories here today, so the track's always in pretty good shape come Sunday.
Now, you're following your teammate off the grid. Do you think you've got a half a chance of getting past JB over there, Jensen?
Hope so. We had a little chat about it on the driver parade, so I've told him I'm going to have a little look. So hopefully, we'll know in the first 2 or 3 seconds, 2 seconds, if it's possible. Just depends how the launch goes, and then get into turn 1, see what we do from there. So, but long Grand Prix, 78 laps, as you know, mate, around here. So I've got to stay concentrated for the whole 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it's 4,300 gear shifts in this race. It's a long afternoon. But what did he say when you said, I'm going to come up the inside of you into turn 1?
I don't think he's pretty keen to stay where he is. So let's see what happens.
Okay, good luck. I don't know if Sebastian is just over here. We'll have a quick word with him, if it's possible, to just the pole sitter. Sebastian, this is a race you have not won. You'd love this trophy to take home tonight, wouldn't you?
I do.
And can you do it? I mean, the race strategy looks like it's going to be quite a lot more simple than we've seen so far this year. The tyres are performing more like we're used to, would you say?
We will see. I mean, it's always hard to judge until race day, especially around here. So, it's a long Grand Prix, a lot of laps, yourself. So, we'll see. It will be a long way, but we are, in a good position to start from. So.
Are you nervous about anybody sort of 6th to 10th on the grid who might one stop or who could ruin your afternoon, or do you just not care, you just drive the wheels off the thing?
We have to look after ourselves, but surely, they will push very hard, so it's not a walk in the park for us.
Thanks. See you. Let's wander down to see who we can find a little bit further on the grid. Christian Horner there. We've had a chat with both of his drivers. You're confident, Christian, for your drivers today? I've broken my sunglasses now. Look at that. Can I get some of those new on Red Bull?
You'll pick some new up on this grid anyway, Martin, no problem. Yeah, I think first and third arguably might be the better place to be starting. We need to try and keep Jensen out at turn 1, but it's going to be tough. It's a long race this afternoon.
Okay, are you confident then?
Yeah, I think we're looking okay. It's a safety car that's probably the biggest variable, but it's going to be fun.
Thank you. I'm still trying to pick my glasses up. And safety car's been out 11 times in the last 10 years. Let's just dive in here and see what's going on. I don't know. I'm getting the big waved finger there from Luca Colliani, the media guy, saying no chance to talk to. I mean, this is one of the tensest grids of the year. There's absolutely no doubt about it. The drivers, that's as tense as I've seen Sebastian Vettel when we've been talking to him at the start of a race. Normally he's a lot more chatty and a little bit jokey, but everybody knows how critical the first corner and the first lap is here. There's Flavio Briatore. Flavio, you're coming back to Formula One?
Today, yes, for another 1 hour.
And what about tomorrow?
Tomorrow not. I go back in London. Ciao.
Okay, see you. Who else can we find wandering around? Karl-Heinz, crazy Karl-Heinz, who looks after Bernie's motorhome. Anybody else? Right, Paul Hembry, the boss man of Pirelli. Your Pirellis are performing too well here this weekend, are they not?
No, it seems that way. We didn't know what we were going to come into, really, being a road circuit for the first time, but the Super Soft seems to be working very well. Looking at maybe a 1-stop, 2-stop strategy.
Well, so nobody will need to 3-stop, you think?
No, I shouldn't think so, no.
Okay, we heard it there, so we'll hopefully find out a little bit more about that. Who we got over here? We've got Michael Schumacher, and let's just see if Schumi is up for a quick word or not. I don't. He's talking here to Andrew Shovelin, his engineer. Andrew's sort of senior engineer, Mark Slade. Pretty heavy conversation going on here. Michael Schumacher, a 5 times victor of this track, 5th on the grid. They're still putting his Mercedes car back together here. Look at the look at the activity going on around that car. It's absolutely extraordinary amount of men on the car. I don't know if there's a problem with it. Let's see if we can... Have you got a problem with the car, particularly? Just normal procedure, yeah, that's going on. Good stuff. Well, let's just have a look. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 10 guys trying to work on that. So I think Michael's giving us the... is he going to talk today? Right, if he doesn't want to talk, I don't want to talk. So we're moving on. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, good stuff. So, you are Adrian Brody, yeah?
No, I'm Stuart Price.
You're Stuart Price. So I'm not absolutely sure why you've been put in front of me, but hello anyway, and tell us the story.
I've been put in front of you because I'm a huge F1 fan, but normally I spend a year producing records, but this is a big passion for me. I'm looking forward to seeing the Red Bulls do a good job again today.
Okay, I've got 6 million friends there who want to be on the grid next year, so how do they get here?
How do they what?
I've got 6 million friends who want to be on the grid next year. How do they get on the grid?
Start working on music, produce records, and then hopefully you can end up here. But you get to meet the real star of the show as well.
See you later. Let's wander on the way through. Let's see if there's any other interesting, slightly more interesting people down there. We've spoken to a lot of Red Bull people today. We've got Maldonado then, and down here with... Jerry, how are you?
How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. So, who are you supporting on the grid today?
The winner.
Oh, well, that's too easy. No, we're not going to let you get away with that.
Obviously Webber. He's Webber and then Vettel. I think those two for Red Bull. I like them. But you know, the one that Vettel qualified yesterday. You know, unless he has a mechanical failure.
David Coulthard would love you for saying Vettel, because that's how that's what he calls him. We always fight over that.
Vettel sounds like a very nice water, doesn't it?
But you got
I think so.
You got a new swimwear range out. Shouldn't you be sort of walking up and down in that?
I'll let you do it.
Okay, yeah, I'd look good in a bikini.
Oh, thank you very much. Enjoy. It's so amazing to be down here. It really is. The smell, the noise. It's like being
smell? What are you trying to say?
I love the smell of petrol. Is that weird?
Yeah, that's a new aftershave I'm using, actually.
It's you!
I've got to go. I'm getting some hurry-ups in my ears.
Okay,
see you later. How long have I got? Okay, we've got just 30 seconds longer. I'm not sure I've ever spoken to Pastor Maldonado on the grid. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever spoken to Pastor Maldonado. Where's your driver?
I'm not sure, really.
You're not sure? Oh, right. He's, where is he? Is he cruising at the back here somewhere? No, he's not. I don't think he is. Okay. Say that again, please, Mark, because I'm really struggling to hear. And we got Jean Todt, the president of the FIA, but he blanked me last time. I tried to have a word with him. Jean, quick word for BBC. So, a thrilling... don't pull me out of the way, because I'm just talking to this man live on the TV. So, Jean, this place is always spectacular for Formula One, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know, it's part of the history of motorsport, not only Formula One, but rallying as well. And it's very special. And I'm very much looking forward to the race.
And are you happy with the way Formula One is heading for the future?
Yes, you know, it's a lot of discussion at the moment, but it's a strong sport, strong business, and I'm very much looking for a lot of harmony and a good friendly decision for the future.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. So there are 5 winners of this Grand Prix here on the grid, ready to start this race. Vettel is not one of them, and let's see if he can get the job done today.
Thanks, Martin. A sterling job there. There you go. Harmony in Formula One is what the president of the FIA is after. We haven't seen that very often, and that is what Martin managed to get through. It must be that lovely smell of petrol, those motor racing pheromones that Martin was giving off there. Now, while Martin's been battling with the grid, we've been making our way through the paddock. I can tell you it's an awful lot quieter. But, Eddie, we bumped into someone who's had quite a difficult weekend, actually. Antonio Perez, Sergio Perez's father. What did he tell you?
Well, Antonio, who is absolutely true passionate motor racing fan, and he gave us a thumbs up. He obviously thanked the Lord for looking after his son yesterday in what could have turned out to be a very horrific accident.
Yeah, indeed. He also said, my son is fine, which is great news. Now, we're making our way onto the floater home. It's too tight here to have motorhomes. This one actually belongs to Red Bull, and it's Red Bull who are on pole once again for this race.
Let's take a look at this 2.1 mile Monaco circuit on board with Sebastian Vettel, the pole sitter. 175 miles an hour heading towards Saint-Devote, the first corner. Brake quite early because it's very bumpy. Thread the car through the tight apex. Hard on the throttle, climbing the hill towards Massenet, threading the car between the barriers at 175 miles an hour over the crest and begin to slow the car down. Watch for the barrier on the left-hand side. 100 miles an hour still through Casino Square. Bring the car right to miss the worst of the bumps. Heavy braking into Mirabeau. He's locked the right front. We've drifted wide, missed the apex, but early on the throttle, he recovers the situation. Full lock for the 37 mile an hour hairpin. Now we have to climb across the pavement to minimise the corner angle and a little straight down into the Portier corner, just 65 miles an hour. And the long Monaco tunnel ahead of us. There's a sharp right kink in the middle, but it's absolutely flat out at 180 miles an hour, bursting into the sunshine. Mind this treacherous braking zone down into the chicane. Wonderful traction through the exit. Jensen Button kind to us on the left-hand side after 150 miles an hour before to back 110 through the apex, so close to the barriers, the first part of the swimming pool. Wonderful commitment. Now the final exit of the swimming pool, driving the car hard on the throttle for best grip. Straight line braking into Raskas, coax the front into the corner, try not to hit the barrier. A burst on the throttle towards the Anthony Nose corner, the final turn which drops away from you. It's the 20th career pole position for Sebastian Vettel. He was lucky this time, but you make your own luck.
Well, he's making his own luck, isn't he, this season? And that lap means that he's on pole position on this grid for the 2011 Monaco Grand Prix, and such is his drive to do well. He jumped out of the car yesterday and said to his team principal, I could have gone a tenth faster in that lap, but it doesn't matter. He's at the very front, and that man, Michael Schumacher, who's had his best qualifying, Eddie, since the last 18 months, will be really confident about this one.
Well, he will, because he has such a great success here. And I think he's just about finding himself. You know, he made some statements early on in the year, and we were all sort of, you know, scratching our heads. Is this real? Is he really believing in this stuff? And actually, he is performing. To be fifth on the grid here gives him a real chance. And he might even sneak a podium, which he's told us that he was going to get.
Michael Schumacher starts fifth. You saw a shot there of Mark Webber. He starts third. And Fernando Alonso starts fourth on the grid for this Grand Prix. Ferrari, we were expecting great things from them. In free practice, they were really fast, but it hasn't quite shown in qualifying.
They've got to be careful that it is free practice and not free fall, because we've seen they've got rid of their technical director. Pat Fry now, of course, an Englishman, is now involved there. They have a fair bit of work to catch up. They did a brilliant start to the last race in Barcelona, but I fear they're in trouble here again today.
Now, for the last few races, to get past that man, the teams have been saying to us, don't worry, you can overtake now, we'll be fine. Whereas here, what they've been saying is, we can beat them on the strategy. And that man there, you saw just a shot of him there, JB, gearing up to beat Red Bull on strategy. Now, we've got new tyres here, the super softs and the soft tyres. How do you expect this race to play out strategy-wise?
Well, I think that it's of all the places, if you were to give up all your other potential poles, you'd pick this one, beyond any doubt. It's the most important, the most influential. From that point of view, the run to the first corner is short, so Vettel, if he makes a half-decent start, he'll just about get up the Saint-Devote first, and that gives you such a major advantage, because he still has lots of those super soft tyres left to use if he needs them.
OK, are you expecting to see a one-stop race from someone today? Because the guys have been saying that they think they can preserve their tyres here. We were expecting huge degradation, but maybe not.
Well, I actually, in my opinion, I think a one-stop, I'd be surprised if 20-25% of the grid did not do and opt for a one-stop, particularly those further back on the grid. And the reason for that, Jake, is the pit lane. It's a 60 mile an hour or 60k run in the middle of the pits. It's very slow, and you lose a lot of track position. So stay out on track as long as you can.
And you can see how tight that is actually just there. That is the pit straight. There isn't really a straight, and it's not really particularly wide. It's difficult to overtake, but Formula One have decided that perhaps you can overtake there. They've made that the DRS zone for this race. So, Eddie, one final thought. An incredible Grand Prix. We're hoping for an incredible race. It's always special here.
Well, if it's going to be true to form to this season so far, we are in for a big spectacle here and a very big race. And the excitement level, I'm not sure I've seen it at this pace in recent years. It's absolutely, everything is boiling over for this race.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. OK, well, it's the one they all want. It's a bit like the BAFTA equivalent of winning a Formula One race.
I was wondering how long it's going to take you to get into that BAFTA winning thing.
Not very long. OK, guys, this is it then. As the high rollers zip up their chosen yacht in the harbour, you've got the very best seats in the house. It's the track where men have gambled with fate and luck for the past 82 years. We've seen some be glorious winners. Sterling Moss, Graham Hill, Ayrton Senna amongst them. Others have come here and lost the lot. But as ever, only one man today will take all the winnings. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. think there's a connection. You think there's a connection. That right here in Formula One, where life is devoted to the eradication of chance, to the elevation of science, you seriously think it can stroll arm in arm with Lady Luck. The roll of her dice, the luck of her draw. Come on. Oh, come on. You think this can in any way be linked with this? Except, you might say, there's the spin of the wheel. Oh, yes. Nice one. And that somebody somewhere is crossing their fingers, touching wood, hoping all goes well. Les jeux sont faits, monsieur, dame. The chips are down, boys and girls. And you might say that if you want a backdrop of money, beauty, drama, adventure, style, speed, and risk, if you want high living, fast living, then this is the name of the place. And this is the name of the game. They are connected. Just here, science and fiction, the jet set and the fast lane, Monte Carlo and Formula One, Monaco and Grand Prix. The two go together. The Monaco Grand Prix.